I say, got it. Okay, now I see Bob. Bob, we're recording already, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, so Lois,
Yes.
you won't be able to like run the Zoom, right? Or will you? From
No.
you won't, okay.
No, I'm gonna be a Zoom in participant.
You're gonna be a participant, okay. You're the one
Yeah.
participant that's on here, or you're not on yet, that's us.
No, Bob's on.
Oh, Bob's on, okay.
Didn't you just say he's on there? Or is he?
No, he just walked in the room.
I'm in the
Oh, okay.
room.
He's in the room, but he's not at his computer. I think,
Oh, okay, so that's just you.
yeah, okay.
At the bottom of the Zoom stuff, there's a chat.
Yeah,
I always click that and then that's gonna pop up on the right.
I did that. I did see, well, no, wait a
And
minute,
I
maybe
always
that's,
typed in welcome. Please use the raised hand icon if you want to make a comment.
okay, so where do you type that? Up at the top or the bottom
No,
or?
down at the bottom, there's a thing there where you can.
Oh,
start
type
filling in.
message. Okay, welcome to the meeting. Please, what do you say again?
Use the raised hand icon.
If you wish to speak during public comment.
I usually just say if you'd like to make a public comment, but yeah.
Okay, if you would like to make public comment.
And then,
Thank you.
thank you. Yep.
Yeah, and then just hit enter.
And it works. Everybody who wants to make a comment, even during the board meetings, raises their hand. He
That's
just
nice.
runs through them for no reason.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get it. Okay, and then all I need to do is just hit end at the end of the
Yeah.
meeting and then,
And then automatically stop the recording and everything, so.
yeah. And then I just shut down the computer and put it
Yeah.
back and then we're done. So
Yeah.
actually I wanted to open up like a Word document here and take some notes. So I don't
Yeah.
have to monitor the Zoom, do I? It kind of went to a little window on the screen.
Yeah.
So I don't really need to
That's
monitor
fine.
that.
You can open it back up to see if anyone joins, to see
Right.
if anyone has a raised hand icon.
I
I
see,
should be
yeah.
able to see that too.
Okay, all right. You might have to interject if I miss something here. Yeah, so, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to make myself a little notes document out of, I'll just import the last one from my email, my Gmail, and just kind of start over with it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, so anyway, so what's it doing down there? What's the temperature?
it's muggy today.
Oh, really?
Warm, it's like, 96 and humid.
Yeah,
I love it. My skin loves it.
I bet. Yeah, 96 and humid. Oh, wow, Lois. That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, y'all thought last week was rough.
really? Yeah. No, it's way worse down there, isn't it?
But see, I love it.
Yeah, right. I would love it too if I was by the water. I would want to be by the water.
Oh, yeah, I totally like that. My brother's, he's over at St. Pete and it's definitely cooler there, even though he's in the city part of it. But
Uh-huh,
then as soon as you get to the ocean, it's just gorgeous.
I bet. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, and Dad's doing well. I don't know.
Good.
I do know that I'm very good for him as far as keeping him energized and doing stuff.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
laughing.
Right, yeah.
That's the thing that Kat and Ted have noted. He just laughs more.
Uh-huh, when you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, very cool. Well, I hope
Mhm.
he's doing well and enjoying your visit. And you said you're going to be down there quite a while yet, like another week or something?
No, just till Monday.
Oh, just till Monday?
Yeah, I'm like 11 hours I have to be to the airport at 12:30 and I land in Traverse City at 11:30. It's a whole freaking day.
Oh, yeah, of traveling.
Because
Yeah.
it's not a direct flight. I couldn't direct flight back.
Right, yeah.
Allegiant, I got their last flight out of Traverse City.
Oh, wow,
Until
really?
October.
Oh, till October? What do you mean?
Allegiant doesn't fly out of Traverse City to the St. Pete or Sanford
In the summer?
all summer. Yeah.
Wow, why is that? Because there's not that much
Probably
demand?
Because no one wants to,
Go to Florida in the summer.
right.
Yeah, right. I get it.
And then I was looking at Grand Rapids, like, yeah, that's cool. Now I've got all the gas and I've got the parking. And that flight left at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
No. I
Wow.
leave the house at 1:30. I think not.
Right. Oh, no, 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 no.
So it's all good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm going to be on the Zoom, and if the, I'll watch. I won't have my tablet though. I don't know how much I'll see of it. I'll just have to look. I don't know that I've ever done it on my phone.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I have, but it's been when I'm driving.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, I see. I'm not going to have all my little favorite, shortcut things that I use to, type much more quickly and stuff.
Mhm.
Shoot. Oh, well,
But the nice thing is, this isn't that huge. You know what I mean?
no,
You
it's
can
not.
just make notes of specific.
Right.
Yeah, just like I'm gonna do. That's why I'm joining, is so that I can. It's just better
Right.
to do it. I think live, catching everybody's words and stuff, than listening to the recording. Because then when I listen to the recording, it's like I don't know. It's just different.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I better bring my calendar in here so we can discuss the next meeting date.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, well, I think,
And you've got
I've got the,
microphones on. Make sure everyone's microphone is on.
okay, I'll go around, make sure that's on. And I also have the digital recorder here with flashing, ready to hit record on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. So hopefully we'll, not screw this up.
Oh, we won't. You'll have your audio recording, if nothing else, right?
Right,
No, it's
yeah.
all good. It's recording now.
Yeah, it's already recording. So as long as I don't screw that up and turn it off somehow, I'm just gonna keep that minimized.
Yep.
If there's something I need to see in the chat or something, just speak up,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
yeah, okay, that'd be awesome. Okay, I think I'm gonna let you go, Lois, and I'm gonna check all the
Alright.
microphones and yeah, read the minutes.
Alright.
I haven't read the minutes yet either, so.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm behind the 8 ball here and it's
If
6.
you're gonna approve them, you better read them.
Yes, I think so. Okay, all right. Thanks for your help,
Thank
Lois.
you.
Yep, bye-bye.
Hello, it's David.
Hello, David.
How you doing?
Well, how are
Very well.
you? Just to let you know, the Zoom has already been started and is recording.
Oh, okay.
Only because that's so I don't forget to do it. A few minutes before the meeting.
Okay.
Which is entirely possible.
Don't tell any dirty jokes.
No, no. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Is the property here on the north side of the building, is that part of the township?
Over to that row of pines,
Oh,
the township owns, and then it's a different property owner past that. It might even be two different ones. I can't remember that for sure.
who's that
Yeah.
little park right there?
Yeah,
Pretty-
yeah, it is. Yeah, our mowing guy hasn't got to our cleanup yet. He's trying to get the cemeteries done. The other cemetery is done. And the Williamsburg Cemetery, but he's got to get I always tell him, get the cemeteries done first with Memorial Day coming, you know, and people in there, you know, putting in flowers and taking out flowers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it makes people even more maybe sensitive to, aware of the conditions.
Yeah.
They want it to look nice.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We want it to look nice. Yeah.
I got your email and your message, and I suppose I should have said something back. I don't have anything to.
Oh, okay, that's
add. I
fine.
wasn't sure that there was an expectation for anything else. So.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be kind of
Light tonight?
a short meeting because we didn't hear back from the attorney.
Oh,
I'll let everybody know, but,
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of.
yeah.
Hello,
How are
Robert.
you this fine night?
Here to Midland.
Good.
How about you?
I'm doing really well. Tired, I'm ready for a nap.
Hello. How about you? Sure. Oh, yeah, don't even worry about that. We have it in the draft form and we'll definitely have them like tomorrow sometime or something like that.
Were you out and about a lot today, or
What's that?
were you out and
I
about
was,
a lot
yes.
today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's cruising.
Righty. Heidi, how have you been?
That was good as can be expected.
It doesn't look too bad. Swollen's gone down some.
I got lots of hardware.
Oh, you did, so you had surgery? Wow.
Lots of.
How is it?
It's busted like this. All this busted. Thank you.
Put your foot up on the desk there to keep it elevated.
I might do just, you know what? I could just put it up like this. But no, I can't.
Might be hard. You want a chair in there?
No, I guess. No, I'm gonna put it this way. I'm gonna put it this way and sit this way. So I can see that. That's fine. Okay, go that way. Go ahead, you're right. Go that way. No, I'm thinking. Oh, if I'm writing, yeah, that'd be good.
One on each side. So you can hold it. Let's get this thing.
That's good.
Make sure that, you know, you're okay with either.
No, did you got me? Oh, no, you call me? It's right in this thing I read today. Want to know how to do the flow chart? Go to. Bob, I got something that you might want to make everybody copies of. From our attorney. They had a webinar. Do you
The
want to?
Fahey Schultz
Yeah.
webinar that was yesterday.
Well, they came out with this on May 2nd, 2022. You might want to make copies of that. But if you don't know how to do the flow chart, well, guess what? We got this over here. It's the cannabis, step 1, entity pre-qualifications. There's flow charts. It actually gets into, remember Denise had some questions about LLCs and everything. It even goes into that. And it shows the breakdown of how the permits can stack and how several people can be connected to each permit.
Hello.
Hello.
You hear from Mike at all? by
I-
chance?
I haven't, but I can give him a call and see, why don't I just give him a quick call and see if he's running a bit late or.
Bob, do you want to make copies of this?
Sure.
Because I think it's a pretty, I mean, it talks about them changing it to the CRA and it talks about, verifying necessary portions of the license review, blah, 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 with the Open Meetings Act, blah, 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 blah. So that might answer some questions we had a couple meetings ago. Yep. You're lucky I had a good day at the doctor today or I wouldn't be here. I said, you're lucky I had a good day at the doctor today or I wouldn't be here.
Oh.
Thank you.
Remember, but he's on his way.
Wearing two hats or three hats tonight.
Must be, yeah. He's on his way to,
Honestly. We want to wait a minute for it or start now?
I think we could give him
Wait a
5
couple
minutes or
minutes.
something. Yeah, he's not that far away.
Thanks, Bob.
For anybody on Zoom, we need to tell that we're waiting just a few minutes for another member who's expected to show up.
I believe we just have Lois on Zoom.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. All
Wonderful. We can hear you too.
right.
were up in the sun.
I think
Oh,
this is,
okay.
Peggy Schultz newsletter, marijuana.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hi, Mike.
That's okay, buddy.
There he is.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Sounds like a good time to get started.
Do you have the packet?
Yes.
Okay.
It is 6:07 PM and we'll call the May 19th, 2022 meeting of the Whitewater Township Marijuana Subcommittee to order. And can we have a roll call of subcommittee members by our impromptu secretary Zoom operator on hand there?
Sure. Hall,
Here.
Goss here, Jacobson,
Here.
Malor,
Here.
Valmuth.
Here.
Wonderful. Are there any adjustments to the agenda this evening that anyone would like to propose? Entertain a motion to accept the agenda as is presented.
So moved.
Second. We have motion to present the agenda as it's submitted and a second. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Anyone in opposition, same sign? No, looks like we have an agenda. Any declarations of conflict of interest that anyone perceives for this evening's meeting based on the agenda items? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. There's an opportunity for public comment. And we'll start with Township Hall. We have one person present. Would you like care to make any public comments?
Not at this time.
Okay, and how about on Zoom? Do we have any additional attendees that would like to make some? public-
There are none.
Are none on Zoom. All right, we'll have the minutes reflect that a period of public comment was offered. All right. Did everybody have an opportunity to review the special meeting minutes of 4/21/2022 that were prepared? Would you like to take a couple minutes to breeze through the, looks about like a page and a third?
Good to me.
Having freshly read the minutes, would anyone care to make a motion to approve the minutes of April 21st?
So move.
I'll second it.
We have a motion second to approve the minutes of April 21st, 2022. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approval of the minutes of April 21st, 2022, please say aye.
Aye.
All those in opposition? Hearing none, looks like the minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is applications. I know that we had talked last time and Cheryl put new applications in there, and the two items that we're looking at changes look like she has redlined in there, one being the pre-qualification question, yes or no. If they have been pre-qualified, please provide us with the documents. And then we clarified that paragraph on voter as to not be present beyond the property lines. Anybody have any further discussion on the applications?
I don't have any.
Thanks for.
Okay. Next item is interview questions, and I think we'll kick that off to Cheryl. I know we had some questions about what we could, what we couldn't, and she was checking with the attorney on those.
I just got off the phone. I had checked with Chris, I don't know, about 7 to 10 days ago where they were at on them with this meeting coming up. And actually they had kind of missed them with the MTA conference coming up and stuff. And so, but I just got a call from him a little bit ago that they have the answers to our questions in draft form. And we'll be finalizing them in a couple days. So we're gonna have them by early next week. And I think when I get them, I'll just send them out to the committee. So everybody has plenty of time to read that. And so we won't be able to discuss that tonight, but unfortunately, but they are very close to being done.
Wonderful. Does anybody have any other discussion on interview questions before we go to the next item? Okay. Flow chart, any update on possible flow chart?
I got a couple of things. There's an app, a free app, it's a open source app, easy to use, Windows based, that you can build flowcharts with, and they can be printed or they can be shared like Google Docs or something electronically. And it looks like it's pretty intuitive. I mean, if you understand what you're trying to do with a flowchart, you can do it with that pretty easily. I'd say it's a good way to go. It's called DIA, D-I-A, like as in diagram. So that's, you can look it up and download it, put it on your machine and take a look at it if you want to. I did a little sidebar, just research on strategies. And one of the things I thought was really quite helpful was they said, whatever you think is your first step, don't put it at the top, put it down a little ways. There'll probably be some steps ahead of it.
Yeah.
Leave some space at the top.
I can understand that's the same way with the land use permits, you know, even though you've done it for years, there's like,
Mhm.
should have asked another question in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We
I
work
can
on
add to that if you'd like.
Yes.
In the discussion I just had with Chris a few minutes ago, I kind of brought him up to speed where the committee was and mentioned the flow chart thing. And he offered that if we'd like, their office can do the flow chart. He said they have done lots of them because they represent lots of municipalities that have done, marijuana. And he said that it's been extremely helpful for everybody whoever's going to decide on applications, the applicant, the board, just everybody that's involved. It's really, and I think we already know it's a good idea to have the flow chart, but they offered to do that. So I told him I would run it by the committee and see what the committee wants to do about that.
I think if they have a system in place where, because they did our ordinances, so they already know how our ordinances are structured, and we pass along any relevant notes that we've had in our 3 meetings here, that they ought to be able to put one together relatively quickly that'll outline the process for us.
Yeah, I mean, because I've never done a flow chart, I don't want to volunteer to do it. You know, I know David has this program. I think it's kind of up to the committee what, you know, the committee wants to
I think we
do.
let the attorney do it since he wrote the ordinances.
Yeah. And if they already have stuff.
I did
they
a
can
couple
start
years
with.
ago, but I like your suggestion there, except I would like leave 2 or 3 boxes between each box, you know, as I
Yeah,
went down
right.
the list.
Yeah.
Fill in the missing link there. All right, so we'll on other topics.
Well,
I'm
hold on,
sorry.
am I taking that as a
Oh.
consensus that we want to ask?
Would anyone
Chris
like to make a
Patterson or-
motion to?
I'll make a motion
Have
to
the,
have the attorney create the flow chart for the committee.
yes, we have a motion
Second.
and a second to have the attorney create the flow chart based upon our ordinances and any notes that we pass along based upon our minutes. Any discussion?
I have a question, I guess, that maybe it's a way to get the discussion started. One thing that I was wondering about with all of this, as we have been talking along the way, is there been any discussion about window of applications? Is it just going to be open-ended? Because you were talking about the idea of how do we decide, or do we say, okay, applications will be available, will be received between such and such and such and such. And then you can always add to it if you haven't gotten as many as there are places.
I am not aware of any window, but we have 2 board members that may have had discussion during township board meetings. Here, has there been any
I
discussion?
don't remember having any discussion about a window. Other than with the 120 and 90 days.
Processing,
Yeah.
okay.
You know, I went, and it's interesting, this is coming up. I went to a clerk's meeting today and the city clerk was there. And, you know, the Traverse City has just passed where they're going to have allow 24 recreational permits. And it came up very briefly that about the scoring rubric thing. And what Benjamin was saying is that they are going to have a window. And so if they have this, so they're gonna, you know, put this out there and people will have to apply by a certain time. And so they are going to have a window that's what they're planning to do. And the other thing he was saying, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him in more depth about this, but the other thing he was saying is that if they don't get 24 applications, they don't have to use the scoring rubric.
Isn't it 12 and 12 though, Cheryl? 12 medical and 12 rec and the.
No, they've
people-
already got 12 medical. This is all new rec, 24 licenses, 24 permits, I should say. Yeah, he confirmed that today and I read that in the paper too. But anyways, so that was just a little blurb on the scoring rubric that apparently if you have less people apply than the number of licenses that you have, you don't have to use a scoring rubric. But then, you know, that begs the question, what are you going to base the, I mean, you've already got the application that's got, okay, they have to provide this, all this stuff, you know? And so I'm going to investigate that a little more, try to have some more information about that at the next meeting.
On other topics, I'd like to start off with, I'd like to pick up where Cheryl left off. I attended the MTA Annual Educational Conference during the last week of April. And they actually hit a couple classes on marijuana, whether it was medical, adult use, recreational, hemp. I learned more than I even want to know, and probably know even less now that it's filtered through my brain cells. But the topic did come up briefly in one of my classes, and it was like the lost in space robot when it came to the questions or the rubric about qualifying the applicants. It was a danger approach with caution. And I know I've talked to a couple people, I've talked to Cheryl, I've talked to Ron, I know a couple other people that I think Fahey Schultz Legal had a webinar on the marijuana yesterday, saying that that's like a tread lightly, area. Which questions do you ask? Which ones don't you ask? Which are appropriate? And there are court cases already pending on that.
Because
So
it says, be cautious either relying on a committee or staff that's conducting reviews and performing recommendations outside the public meeting.
yeah. Number two on other topics, because I learned just enough to be dangerous on marijuana, I've learned how time intensive it can be. And I'm going to make a formal request or a recommendation of the township board that I be removed or taken out of consideration for reviewing any of the applications, just because of the time that it would take and the volume of paperwork. And I don't think that would require a change in our ordinance too, because if you look at the ordinance, it talks about the zoning administrator and or his designee. And if the zoning administrator is incapable, the township supervisor or his designee. So I don't think it would be an issue for the township board to make a change and hopefully appoint somebody else that could dedicate the time that these applications will deserve. And I don't think there would be a need to change the ordinance. I just wanted to let this committee know, because I know in the beginning, I thought it would be a good thing, but sometimes the more you think about it and you follow your own flow chart, you're like, boy, you never thought about this, did you? So I'm going to try to respectfully bow out. Of course, I'll still handle any of the zoning once, the board says, okay, here's your license, go to Bob and do the zoning. We'll certainly move on with that, but I'm going to ask to be removed from any consideration for reviewing the applications. Any other miscellaneous topics that the subcommittee would wish to discuss?
I just want to mention, I did attend this webinar yesterday. It was put on by this Fahey Schultz firm, which is the township's attorney. They're down in Okemos. And that is going to be on their website. And what I thought, and it's not an attorney-client privilege thing. And I thought what I'll do is I'll get the link for that and I'll supply it to everybody on the committee so everybody can have the benefit of watching that. I'm actually going to watch it again because there was a lot packed into an hour. And so I will provide the link for that.
Well, that's how these marijuana classes were at the MTA conference. They go for like an hour and 45 minutes, but they do their very best to pack in 8 hours worth of information in that time frame.
Yeah.
And you have we had this young lady giving this class. One lady was from Farm Bureau, and somebody worked for the state of Michigan that was describing hemp and marijuana and growing and testing the hemp on site and the THC levels. And do you want straight corn stalks or do you want to grow it bushy? And if it tests like this, it's no longer hemp, it's marijuana. Now you have to just way too much to consider for me.
Too much information.
Yeah, too much information. But I think keeping on task for us, I think that our big thing is getting those answers back from Chris as soon as we can, the attorney.
Yeah.
And I think that would be great if you got it back from him and just forward it out.
Yeah, I'm going to.
So we could all begin taking a look at it before our next meeting to be scheduled later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So any other topics? All right. Move on to
Three questions that are topic for this process. You basically just brought one up by talking about recusing yourself from this process.
Yeah.
And that's not really the right word for it, but yeah. It seems to me that that's a question that has to be addressed. We've been talking about what can be asked in public, thinking in terms of proprietary information or whatever. What must be asked in public because it's a meeting, of a committee or something like that. And how do you make a differentiation between those things? Which sounds like that's some of what the attorney's going to give us some advice on. Right, so would that then lead to saying that part of this interview process might be done by an individual appointed to do that, to discuss stuff that wouldn't be public information? And then the rest of the questionnaire kind of stuff could be done in an open forum by the trustees or their designates, a group or something, and it would be a public event. What brought it to mind is reading about and watching all this stuff that's been going on, all these pitch nights that have been happening lately. I mean, people are talking about their business plans and all kinds of stuff right out there in front of God and everybody. It's a little bit different, but it's similar. They're looking for people to, come up with the money and permissions to do it and all that stuff. So how does that get decided and how would it take place?
I think that if Cheryl's actually typing down some of the catchphrases of what you were just saying, that's more or less a township board decision to decide what individual and or committee would apply the application rubrics to determine, the scoring system. And I don't think they've worked that out yet that I'm aware of.
And I think the flow chart will help us with that. I will kind of define where
In the process it is.
yeah, where it's
Compare
going
a
to take
split.
place and a suggestion of who's going to do it.
That's why it leads me back to what you were talking about with the Village of Kalkaska did it right up front, wouldn't even
Mhm.
give an application until,
Right, yeah,
they did it,
Right,
it's-
yeah.
And I think those are the answers we need from Chris. I think that was one of the
Yeah,
questions. At what
and
point
he-
in time can we do
yeah, and
this?
he did say that they encourage a pre-application
Conference of
interview
some
or
type.
conference, whatever you
Okay.
want to call it. So I think like I said, I think the flow chart is gonna show us where they think that should take place. Not that it couldn't be changed, but where they think it should take place. Where they see it being the most productive to take place, Certainly, we don't want to waste anybody's time, board time, committee time, applicant time, the zoning administrator's time.
Yeah.
It needs to be an efficient
And
process.
the
That everybody
process-
knows it's going to start here and these things are going to happen in the middle and it's going to end here.
The more you talk about, the more I think that kind of the pre-application, if it's viable and legal, would probably be a useful tool because I don't want to take somebody's money
Right.
before we know they're qualified. It's more
Yeah.
trouble to take their money and then give it back
That's
after you say
right.
no.
Yeah.
Than spend a few minutes up front and say, okay, you're qualified for the application.
Right.
Don't forget to bring your $5,000 check back in with this application.
Right. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you that. So you're saying that people wouldn't have to put the money up front non-refundably. There would be an.
Well, it's up to the
application
township
fee.
board, but I just think as a matter of ethics that
Yeah.
you wouldn't bait somebody to do that and take their money.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would say, well, you pre-qualified, okay, when you bring this application back, then you
Mhm.
turn the money in. You just
Yeah.
don't come in and pay $5,000 to get the
Mhm.
application.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't I read the applications are going from 6 to 3? Did I read that somewhere?
What was that, Heidi? I didn't
I
hear.
said, did I read somewhere the applicant fees are going from 6 to 3?
We have a fee schedule. It's $5,000 per applicant,
I think
per
5 is
license,
the-
per
I think
permit. I should say.
5,000 is the max at the township level. I think the CRA, they lowered their fees at the
Oh, did
state
they?
level.
Oh, yeah.
Some of their tiered fees that they do
Yeah.
for their paperwork.
I think it
Yes,
just
you're
went
right.
from.
I
hold on, I'll
remember
tell
hearing,
you.
yeah.
I just read it this afternoon. I think it went from 6 to 3.
1,000.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
But I think they have more fees than that.
yeah.
I've heard it's about 60 grand.
It
To-
can be extremely
through the state.
expensive. Okay, any subcommittee comments, discussion? I think we ought to lead off by determining when we're going to meet the next time around.
What's that, Mike?
So everybody looks for their calendar.
Oh, yeah.
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 Do you need a calendar to look at?
No, I,
Okay.
whatever night works for everybody else.
Bob,
Next
you're
month.
not expecting to have any meetings on the 23rd, the ZBA date, are you? Or what about that date? Or do we want to? That is,
I've been communicating with somebody, but I told them that I didn't have an application like by now, that would, no.
well, I mean, we
No,
don't
yeah.
have to do it that day if you think there's going to be
That,
one.
that would be the safest date
Yeah.
to do it, I think.
What about the 16th?
16th, I'm open to.
Is everybody available on that Thursday, the
Thursday,
16th? That
the
would be
16th.
4 weeks from today, I think.
Make that date better. We get,
Yeah, I
get
prefer that.
on this quicker.
Yeah. Does 6/16 work for you, Heidi?
If you do 7, not 6. If you want to wait for me, I'll be about 15, 20 minutes late.
6:30.
Yeah, what's
And that's if my Uber's on time. Yeah, 6:30 would work.
6/16 at 6:30? Does that work for you, Bob?
I can do 6:30.
June 16th at 6:30? Got it.
Got it. So we've established the meeting for Thursday, June 16th at 6:30 for the next meeting. Any other comments while we're gathered around the table for the marijuana subcommittee meeting? I think we're doing a good job. We're focusing on what the township board wanted us to do in the very beginning. And I think a lot of our decisions going forward, I don't even think would be worth meeting on the 16th unless we get that information back from the attorney
Yeah,
and we actually have something to discuss.
Yeah, I would agree.
he promised that it would be sent out Saturday, or he said he had something going on Monday, so it was probably going to go out on
Okay.
Saturday. So as soon as I see it, I'll just forward it to everybody.
Wonderful.
I mean, if you guys want good reading, the Cannabis Regular Agency takes you through this whole process, step by step by step. But you gotta like to read, because each, let's see, each step is anywhere from 20 to 80 pages.
Any other subcommittee comments, discussion? All right, we have none, so we'll offer an opportunity for public comment in the township hall first, please.
Alrighty.
All right, if you could just state your name for the record.
Vicki Emerson, resident Whitewater Township. I do appreciate that you guys are working on this and treading with great caution. I don't think that this is something to be taken lightly. Because once you do things, I don't think you can reverse them. So it has to be right. I am requesting that you put a moratorium on recreational marijuana until the people vote and stop spending money and time on this until that vote is in. And then whatever you do with medical marijuana, I look at this as a first-time experience, or experiment. I hope that you would have great caution and do things, whatever you do, on a small scale so that you can go back, reassess, evaluate the effects and the outcome. A comment that was made earlier about the odor staying within the property line. I don't really understand how you can regulate that, because odors travel with the wind. You can't contain an odor within a property line. Does that make sense?
That made sense, yes.
And I kind of think of this as if you were having a large event community-wide and you were responsible for preparing the food for this event, would you make a small batch of something and test it before you spend all the money on enough to feed the community and then serve it and find out, oh, that recipe didn't turn out like I thought? That's just an analogy of what this marijuana is. It needs to be thoroughly thought through, and no matter how good you do something, you're going to learn something afterwards and say, I wish I would have done this. So I appreciate that you take the time and not open up our community to lawsuits and litigations and all kinds of other things, because I do foresee a lot of complaints coming forward with odor issues, not to mention all the other things that go with it. And that's all I have to say, but
Thank you for your comments this
Mhm.
evening. Do we have anyone that tuned in via Zoom?
Yes, we do.
that
We
would
have
like
one
to
person.
make a Comment.
Yep. So we have Don Glenn has tuned in on Zoom. Don, do you wish to make a comment?
No, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for asking, though.
Anyone else on Zoom?
No.
No one else make public comments, so let the minutes show that another period of public comment was offered. There's only one item left on the agenda this evening that I can see, folks.
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Would anyone like to sit here and discuss it?
Question.
All right, all those in favor of adjourning? Say aye, please, aye. Anyone in opposition? I guess I'll go with the majority myself, so we'll go home. Thank you, folks, for another evening.
Thank you, Bob, for being our chairperson. Looks like it's 6:37 PM.
Yeah, that's what my clock says, 6:37 PM. Thank you for filling in for Lois and Abstentia, even though she was probably listening in
She was.
from a beach chair somewhere.
She was. Thanks, Mike.
Good for her.
Thanks.
All right, I was late, guys.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Scooty keys.